Welcome back. Today we're going to continue looking at Itopia and how to open and get started in the Lightburn software. Lightburn software is used in Tech Ed for our laser engravers. We have a Boss LS 3655 laser in Domer's classroom and an LS 1630 in Mr. Phillips's classroom. So we've already opened up and logged into Itopia. We've already connected our Google Drive account to it. We're ready to start our software of Lightburn. So I'm going to double click and let that open up. First time in, or each time in, it's going to prompt this. We're just going to go start your free trial here. And it's activated. And then it opens up the software here. Depending on which laser you're going to be running, Mr. Domers or Mr. Phillips, you're going to come over here to the bottom right, and you'll see a drop down where I just clicked, and you can select which laser you're on because each laser is different size and different power, so you're going to want to make sure you're using the proper laser engraver, but this software allows you to run either one. So we're in my room right now, so we'll use the LS 3655, and you'll notice it has our 00 in the top right corner where it's referencing everything from. And then this one comes over to about 55 inches in the X and about 36 inches in the Y. If I were to switch over just to show the difference, here's Mr. Phillips. This one's about 30 inches by 16 inches. So you will want to make sure you're in the proper one. We're ready to bring our DXF file or JPEG or PNG picture file into the software. So we're going to go file open, and we just want to go find, is it open? Let's go see if I'm in the right spot here. We're going to go Google Drive, My Drive, into the Intro to CAD folder. I have a folder I created for one of the projects we do here is a triangle golf tee game in CAD as a good example, and here's the DXF. I may be, oh, and there it came in. So we just opened that DXF file. Again, when we go in there, we got to change the file type to all supported, and then you can see it there in the software for what you're doing. I think we can also do import. That might have been the better way to do it. Let me also go to File, Import here instead. Import PIG. There we go. So that comes in. We're going to want to make sure that this is a saved file for future purposes. So we're going to go File, Save As. And we're going to want to put it in the same folder and give it a name, Triangle Game Domer. And that is now a saved Lightburn file. This artwork we've already done in Inventor. If I go to Google Drive, you'll see here's that DXF file, and here's now the IPT file. And if we refresh, we should actually see the Lightburn file here now as well, all in our Google Drive. So the DXF is what I brought in. You cannot bring in a straight Inventor file to Lightburn. It has to be a two-dimensional file type, which we'll show you how to do in another video. Now that this is in, we don't want to scale it because theoretically we drew it to the correct size, but if we did need to scale it, you could do some scaling here and look at your sizes. Right now it says this part is a little under 9 inches by 5.5 inches about. If you needed to scale it, you can, but that's going to scale everything, including the holes that you drew in CAD the correct size. Some of the changes we want to do in Lightburn very simply is maybe cutting all the interior out separate from the exterior. So we're going to come in here and make this a different layer by selecting it and then just simply giving it a different color. So that's now a pink layer, and it creates a second layer up here. Maybe I want the eyes and nose to be a different layer as well, and we have our various layers here. That one there is actually part of the original one, my bad. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. So we have 3 layers set up, and Lightburn will laser in order of top down. So I want to do the interior work before I do the exterior, so I'm going to take this layer and send it down so it does the pink last, or the final cutout last. For the orange here, I want it to actually raster so it doesn't do circles. It will actually make it around. So we're going to go fill. And if we look at what this, without any other settings, we're just going to use the TV screen here and it'll show you that it's going to fill in the nose and the eyes, and it's going to cut out everything else. Okay, so that's what I want it to do. But now I need to change some settings. This over here, I need to make that layer as well, so it cuts out that part of the tail also. If I go to the TV screen, that looks correct now. So the settings is going to be on a yellow sheet of paper you're going to find by the laser engraver for the power and speed we want for each material. If you think about it, if I'm cutting through paper, I don't need a lot of power to cut a laser to cut through paper. But if I'm trying to cut through a 1/4-inch piece of wood, I would need a lot of power to cut through that wood and probably slow it way down. So we've got to set our speeds and powers up here. So any of our cuts, we're going to just do cardboard on this particular part. On the yellow sheet of paper, it tells me what I should do for speed and feed that we've set up. So for cardboard cutting, the speed is 1, and for max power, says it is 45. These numbers have been kind of tested by students over time. The pink is also going to be a cut, so 1 and a power of 45%. Now you also have to pay attention that these speeds and feeds are going to be different between Domer's laser and Mr. Phillips's laser because the two lasers are different power ratings. So he'll have his own settings in there you have to go with if you're using his. Mine are posted by my laser engraver. And then for fill or raster engraving for the eyes and nose, for cardboard it says speed of 15, which is really fast, and a power of 15, which is really low, 15%. So now we have our speed and feed set up for all 3 layers. Again, depending on what you're cutting, and if you're trying to cut or engrave, we'll do that. So we can go back to the little TV screen. It looks right. It also gives us an estimated time. This part should take about 4 minutes to complete once you hit go on the laser engraver. So maybe that's too long. You can go in and tweak some things or change your design. If we do this as a line instead of a fill, and we go look at it on the TV screen, theoretically it's going to save a bunch of time because it's not going back and forth anymore. Now it's less than a minute to make this part. So depending on how you make your settings will be how long it goes. We want to make sure we save this file again. This is the Lightburn file in case we want to go back. Maybe we cut it and it didn't cut all the way out, so you got to go tweak it. Well, if you closed it, you lost your progress. So make sure you're saving the Lightburn file. Once we have our settings right for it, our little green dot here is in the top right corner of the pig. So wherever we put our cardboard on the table, we'll set our origin to that. Future video, we'll look at that. We're ready to send this out to a thumb drive so that we can take it to the actual machine. However, remember, with Itopia, we're using a computer that is somewhere else in the United States, not necessarily here at Watertown High School. So we need to get this file to Google Drive so we can then download it on your Chromebook to a thumb drive. We can't necessarily go right to a thumb drive from Itopia. So for that process, we want to save the RD file. Save RD file is going to be the run file that the laser engraver is going to use to actually run it, not the Lightburn file. So we hit this save RD, and we're going to put it in the same drive. Okay, give it a name. Usually put your name itself in the file so it's easy to find. And the lasers don't like long names necessarily. So we're going to go try Domer 1 for triangle game Domer, and this is my first attempt. And it's going to save it as an RD file. So we hit save. And now when we get back out to the tabs for your Chromebook in Google Drive, we refresh a couple of times here. It should pop into Google Drive. At that point, there it is. There's the RD file that we're going to need for the laser. So I'm going to take my thumb drive that I physically have in my hand, the flash drive, the USB drive, whatever you call it, and we're going to plug it into the computer physically. So now I have that into, let's say, the Chromebook. We're going to download this file. So I'm going to click here and go download. So now it's on the Chromebook. So if I open up downloads on the Chromebook, there is Domer. I'm going to go Control-C, and then I'm going to come over to that thumb drive, which I don't see. So let's pop it back in. There it is, USB drive, and I'm gonna paste that, Control V into there, and there is my Tridomer 1 RD file on the thumb drive. So now when I take the thumb drive out, that laser file that we made in Itopia and saved it to the hard drive eventually is now on the thumb drive, and I'm ready to go to the laser engraver and load and run this file. And if all went well, I'm done. If not, then I may have to come back, tweak some settings, resave it to Google, re-download it, re-put it on the thumb drive, and take it to the laser engraver. So hopefully with this short little video, you can get into Lightburn, open a file, do some basic setting changes to it, export that file out to the RD, and get it onto a thumb drive and start using the laser engraver for the first time. Good luck cutting.